Hello everybody and thanks for joining me. Today I'm tying a soft-hackled buzzer pattern called the Machair Snatcher. For the hook I'm using a heavyweight grub hook, size 12 through to 16, and for my thread, UTC 70 in black. For the tag on this fly, I'm using some holographic red tinsel, this is from Vivus, and for the body I'm going to be using some wrapped ostrich herl, this is a natural grey plume. To rib the fly I'm using some opal mirage tinsel, this is the medium one from UTC, and for the wing buds and cheeks, some split jungle cock. Finally, to make the soft hackle, I'm using some natural black hen, this is a really nice cape from Whiting. So let's get started. I've got my hook secured in the vise and I'm going to cast on my thread just behind the hook eye, make a few wraps to secure, come in with my scissors and trim away. The first material to tie in is the red tinsel. I'm going to bring that up, make a couple of loose turns and draw it through. This saves trimming it away at the head end. I've made some touching turns all the way down the body to lay down a bit of a foundation and secure down that tinsel. And now, using the rotary function on my vise, I'm going to lay down a little tag. Just 3 or 4 wraps will do. Trying to lay it down nice and smooth, and then unwinding my thread and securing down that tinsel. You only need to do a couple of turns. Two over the top, one in front to secure, and that's nicely tied in. I'm going to come in with my scissors and trim away the excess. Now I'm going to run my thread back up the length of the hook shank. Doesn't have to be touching turns, but just to lay down a little bit of bulk and bring myself back up to the thorax. The next material I'm going to tie in is that length of opal mirage tinsel, and this is going to add a really nice rib to the fly. I think that it gives a very good representation of the gases that get trapped inside these chironomid midges that we're trying to represent, and adds a little bit of glimmer and a little bit of gleam. It can be really, really attractive for the fish. I'm tying that down towards the tag. Once I'm happy with the length, I'm going to secure that out of the way in my materials clip. Here I've taken an ostrich plume, and much like peacock herl, these have a little V shape to them, and I'm tying it in with that V pointing towards the tail of the fly. That way when I wrap it forwards, it's going to have the fibres of the barbs pointing backwards towards the tail of the fly. I'm not making tight turns here, I'm doing it as a fairly open wrap, leaving a little bit of space between them, and that's what I'm going to be wrapping my rib through. You can do it a little bit tighter if you like, but I think this pattern works much better if you tie it slightly sparser. These midge pupa aren't big things. I'm taking that nearly all the way up towards the eye of the hook, making a few tight wraps over the top to secure, folding back the plume, and then coming in with my scissors and trimming away. Excuse the jump cut, but I nudged the camera a little. You can see that those fibres are pointing nicely towards the tail of the fly. Now with my ribbing material, that opal tinsel, I'm going to make some wraps forwards, aiming to keep it between the barbs, not trapping too many of them down. And you can see that that's going to give a really lively body to the fly. It's got that pearlescence underneath and those nice soft ostrich plumes pointing forwards. With that tied forward, I'm making a tight wrap over the top, folding over the tinsel on itself and just working back a few thread wraps, and that's plenty to secure it down. I can trim away the excess, and now for the cheeks. This is a little jungle cock feather. It's split naturally down the middle and I've just encouraged it up through the eye. You can see that that's going to give a nice little pop of colour to the cheeks, as well as giving the fly a natural profile from the wing buds. Let's check that that's nice and even on both sides, and I'm pleased to say, yes it is. Now the final material to tie in is that soft hackle, and this is what really brings the fly to life. These nice soft hen hackles work really, really well, and I think it gives a nice impression of movement in the water. Made a few firm wraps to secure, and again I'm not tying this in as a huge big dense hackle. I think the sparser it looks, the more mobility you get in the water, and I think that that's what really draws fish in with this pattern. So you can see I was drawing the fibres back towards the tail of the fly as I made those 2 wraps of hackle. Now I'm securing everything down with my thread, 2 tight wraps over the top, bend the stem of the feather back, and then working from the eye of the hook backwards, secure everything down. That's everything tied in, so I'm coming in with my whip finisher and just making a 4 or 5 turn finish to secure everything. And we can trim away the feather, trim away the thread, and add a little coat of varnish to the head to secure down the knot. This is a lovely midge pattern, or buzzers or chironomids or whatever you want to call them. I think it works very well dead drifted under a bung or with a very slow retrieve, because you take advantage of the natural movement in the water that pulses that hackle and ripples the body. Very attractive. Here's a little view of the finished fly. You can see that iridescence and gleam from the tag and the rib, and that soft body, and the natural profile of the wing buds. Do give this one a go. It's an easy enough pattern to tie, and it can be very, very effective. Thanks for watching, hope you're enjoying the videos, and I'll catch you next time.